Good morning. Life changes quickly in a positive way if you let it. The saying is apt to begin our session. Respected CT sir, honorable guest of the day, Dr. Shamir VK, Principal Jyoti ma'am, distinguished guests, my colleagues and my dearest students. On behalf of Deyapuram fraternity, I wholeheartedly welcome you all to be a part of the program Alumni Conversations Outreach Through Experiences. A school's repute stretches out in its students of yesteryears and present day. It is the students who design, props, and raise the school's fame during and beyond their school years. Alumni are the brand ambassadors of the institution and are proud to say that they are having a vibrant relationship that is very much grounded, established, and nurtured. We strive to motivate our students to reach their true potential by fostering, guiding, and strengthening their values. Thus, prolific and inventive citizens of the world and worthy human beings are in lineage. Many of our alumni are doing great work in different domains, and to raise the line of excellence, the alumni meet occasionally in several initiatives to strengthen the foray of our students into different avenues and prospects. The advice, guidance, and suggestions by our dear patron, Mr. C.T. Abdurrahim, is deeply acknowledged with a sense of gratitude. Constant inspiration and immense support by him have resulted to the novel initiative named Alumni Conversations. Our patron, C.T. Sir, whose thoughts and objectives have taken us to stride over long 36 years, is unparalleled. With due respect and regards, let me invite C.T. Sir to share his ideas on the series Alumni Conversations and also on the first talk of this line. Over to you, sir.
എല്ലാവരെയും ഈ പരിപാടിയിലേക്ക് ഹൃദയപൂർവ്വം സ്വാഗതം ചെയ്യാം. എന്നെ സംബന്ധിച്ചിടത്തോളം ഇത് സാധാരണ പറഞ്ഞു കേൾക്കാറുള്ളത് പോലെ ഇരട്ടി മധുരം എന്ന് പറയും. അങ്ങനെയുള്ള ഒരു അനുഭവമാണ്. ഒന്ന്, ദയാപുരത്തിൻ്റെ വാതിലിലൂടെ കടന്നു വന്ന് ദയാപുരത്തിൻ്റെ വാതിലിലൂടെ പുറത്തുപോയ കാലം വളരെ ദീർഘമല്ലെങ്കിലും ഡോക്ടർ ഷമീർ നടത്തുന്ന നേതൃത്വം നൽകുന്ന ഒരു പരിപാടി നടക്കാൻ കഴിയുക എന്നുള്ളത് ഞാൻ വലിയ ഭാഗ്യമായി അക്ഷരാർത്ഥത്തിൽ കാണുന്നു. കാരണം എന്നെപ്പോലെയുള്ള ഒരാൾക്ക് ജീവിതത്തിൽ കിട്ടാവുന്ന ഏറ്റവും വലിയ ശുഭ സന്ദർഭങ്ങളിൽപ്പെട്ടതാണ് ഇതൊക്കെ. ഇവിടെ പഠിച്ചു പോയ ഒരു വിദ്യാർത്ഥി ഇവിടെ പിൻതലമുറക്ക് മാതൃകയാവുന്ന സന്ദർഭങ്ങൾക്ക് സാക്ഷ്യം വഹിക്കുന്നതിനേക്കാൾ വലിയ ഭാഗ്യം ജീവിതത്തിൽ മറ്റെന്തുണ്ട് എന്ന് ചിന്തിക്കുന്ന ഒരാളാണ് ഞാൻ. പ്രസിദ്ധിയോ അധികാരമോ പണമോ പകരം വെക്കാവുന്ന ഒന്നല്ല ഈ അനുഭവത്തിന്. അതുകൊണ്ട് തന്നെ ടിജി സാർ എന്നെ ഇതിൽ നിർബന്ധമായി പങ്കെടുക്കണം. സാധാരണ ഞാൻ പൊതുവെ എല്ലാറ്റിലും പങ്കെടുക്കാൻ വിളിക്കുന്നതിന് മുമ്പ് വരാറുണ്ടെങ്കിലും ഇന്നൊരു അലസഭാവം എന്നിലുണ്ടായിരുന്നു. ഡോക്ടർ ഷമീർ ആണ് വരുന്നതെന്ന് കേട്ടപ്പോൾ ഉടൻ തന്നെ എനിക്കത് പങ്കെടുക്കാൻ താല്പര്യം തോന്നി. അതൊരു മധുരപരമായ അനുഭവമായതുകൊണ്ട് തന്നെയാണ്. ഇതാണ് ദയാപുരത്തിൻ്റെ പിന്നിൽ പ്രവർത്തിക്കുന്ന കൂട്ടായ്മയുടെ ഏറ്റവും വലിയ സമ്മാനം. ഈ തരം അനുഭവങ്ങൾ ദയാപുരത്തിലൂടെ കടന്നുപോയ ഒരു വിദ്യാർത്ഥിക്ക് എത്താവുന്ന ഏറ്റവും വലിയ ഉയരങ്ങളിൽ എത്താൻ കഴിയുകയും അതോടൊപ്പം തന്നെ ദയാവരത്തിന്റെ പിൻതലമുറക്ക് മാതൃകയാവുന്ന രീതിയിലും അവരെ സംരക്ഷിക്കുന്ന രീതിയിലും സംരക്ഷകരാവുകയും ചെയ്യുന്ന ശുഭമുഹൂർത്തങ്ങൾ, ശുഭ സന്ദർഭങ്ങൾ വളരെ അനുഗ്രഹീതമാണ് എന്നതിൽ ഒരു സംശയമില്ല. ഇതിന് സാക്ഷ്യം വഹിക്കുക എന്നുള്ളതാണ് ഈ പ്രായത്തിൽ എന്നെ സംബന്ധിച്ചിടത്തോളം ഏറ്റവും വലിയ ധർമ്മം എന്നും കൂടി ഞാൻ വിചാരിക്കുന്നു. ഡോക്ടർ ഷമീറിന് ദയാവരത്തേക്ക് ഞാൻ കുറച്ചു മുമ്പ് ഷമീറിനെ ദയാവരത്തേക്ക് ക്ഷണിക്കുകയുണ്ടായി. നേരിട്ട് തന്നെ വന്ന് കാണാൻ സന്ദർഭം ഉണ്ടാകുമ്പോൾ വരണം. എന്തൊക്കെയാണ് പോരായ്മകൾ എന്ന് ചൂണ്ടിക്കാണിച്ചു തരേണ്ടത് ഈ സ്ഥാപനത്തിലൂടെ കടന്നുപോയ വിദ്യാർത്ഥികൾ തന്നെയാണ്. പുറമെ നിന്ന് കാണുന്ന ആളുകൾക്ക് ഇതിന്റെ ദൗർബല്യങ്ങളോ ഇതിന്റെ പോരായ്മകളോ ഇതിന്റെ ഭംഗിയോ കൃത്യമായി ചൂണ്ടിക്കാണിക്കാൻ കഴിയില്ല. അതുകൊണ്ട് ഇതിലൂടെ കടന്നുപോയ, ഈ സ്ഥാപനത്തിലൂടെ കടന്നുപോയ അതിന്റെ സന്തോഷത്തെയും അതിന്റെ ദുഃഖത്തെയും സൗഭാഗ്യങ്ങളെയും ദൗർഭാഗ്യങ്ങളെയും ഒക്കെ നേരിട്ട് അനുഭവിച്ച വിദ്യാർത്ഥികളിലൂടെ അത് കേൾക്കുമ്പോൾ ഉണ്ടാകുന്ന വലിയ ഒരു തിരുത്താനുള്ള അവസരവും കൂടി ലഭിക്കും എന്നതാണ് ഇതിന്റെ ഏറ്റവും വലിയ പ്രത്യേകത. ഇങ്ങനെയുള്ള പല അനുഭവങ്ങളും എൻ്റെ മുമ്പിലുണ്ട്. ഇത്രയും കാലത്തെ ഏകദേശം 38 വർഷക്കാലത്തെ അനുഭവങ്ങളിലൂടെ ഇങ്ങനെ അല്പം നമ്മുടെ ഭാഗത്തുനിന്ന്, ദയാവരത്തിന്റെ ഭാഗത്തുനിന്ന് വന്ന ഒരു ചെറിയ കൈത്തറ്റ് പോലും എത്രമാത്രം ശ്രദ്ധിക്കപ്പെടേണ്ടതാണ് എന്ന് ഉണർത്തുന്ന അനുഭവങ്ങൾ വിദ്യാർത്ഥികളിലൂടെയും രക്ഷിതാക്കളിലൂടെയും ടീച്ചേഴ്സിലൂടെയും ഒക്കെ തന്നെ എൻ്റെ ഓർമ്മയുടെ ശേഖരത്തിലുണ്ട്. അതുകൊണ്ട് ഞാൻ ദീർഘിപ്പിക്കുന്നില്ല. ഇത് വളരെ ചുരുങ്ങിയ സമയമേ ഉള്ളൂ. പ്രത്യേകിച്ച് ഡോക്ടർ എന്ന നിലക്ക് ഉള്ള ഉത്തരവാദിത്വം വളരെ വലിയതാണ് എന്ന് മനസ്സിലാക്കിക്കൊണ്ട് ഡോക്ടർ ഷമീറിനെ, മുമ്പത്തെ ഷമീർ എന്ന വിദ്യാർത്ഥിയല്ല, ഡോക്ടർ ഷമീറിനെ ദയാവരത്തിന്റെ ഈ ഹൃദയത്തിലേക്ക് സ്വാഗതം ചെയ്തു എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് ശരിയല്ലാത്തത് കൊണ്ട് ഈ കുടുംബാംഗത്തെ നമ്മൾ ആർദ്രമായി മാറോടണക്കുന്നു എന്ന് പറയാനാണ് എനിക്കിഷ്ടം. അതുകൊണ്ട് ആ അർപ്പിതമായ സന്തോഷം ഡോക്ടർ ഷമീറിനെയും അതിൻ്റെ കീഴിലുള്ള അഭിമാനം നമ്മുടെ ഈ സംരംഭത്തിൽ പങ്കെടുത്ത എല്ലാ സ്റ്റാഫിനെയും ഞാൻ പങ്കുവെക്കുന്നു. ഒപ്പം തന്നെ 7ാം ക്ലാസ്സിലെ വിദ്യാർത്ഥികൾക്ക് ഏറ്റവും വലിയ ഒരു സന്ദർഭമാണിതെന്ന് അവരെ ഉണർത്തുകയും അവർ ശ്രദ്ധിച്ച് കേട്ട് ഇങ്ങനെയുള്ള പദവികളിലേക്ക് അവരെത്താൻ വളരെയധികം ശ്രദ്ധിക്കണം, ശ്രമിക്കണം എന്ന് പിഞ്ചു കുട്ടികളാണെങ്കിലും അവരുണർത്തുന്നതോടൊപ്പം അവർക്ക് വേണ്ടി ഉണർന്ന് പ്രവർത്തിക്കുവാൻ ഇത് കേൾക്കുന്ന രക്ഷിതാക്കൾ ഉണ്ടെങ്കിൽ അവർ ശ്രമിക്കണമെന്ന് കൂടി പ്രത്യേകം പറഞ്ഞുകൊണ്ട് അഭ്യർത്ഥിച്ചുകൊണ്ട് ഞാൻ എൻ്റെ വാക്കുകൾ അവസാനിപ്പിക്കുന്നു. എല്ലാവർക്കും നന്മ വരട്ടെ എന്ന് ആശംസിക്കുന്നു.
Thank you, sir. As sir said, it is a double delight for all Dayavarites. A medical graduate from Pariyaram Medical College with his post-graduation in general medicine has worked as assistant professor in infectious diseases through Thrissur Medical College. He was recognized by the government of Kerala for his contributions in the Nipah control activities. A recipient of National IMA Award for COVID-related activities, our guest of the day, Dr. Shamir VK, is currently working as the Assistant Professor of General Medicine, Calicut Medical College. A pleasant and warm welcome to our alumnus, Dr. Shamir, to his alma mater. We are fortunate to have Dr. Shamir as he has been associated with the COVID-related issues, which is the trending topic. Let me invite him to throw light on the topic, positives of COVID-19, as we are all facing a lot of issues with the pandemic. So it's a time to see the positive side of COVID-19. Over to you, sir.
Thank you so much, CT sir. all the staff, principal, and all other teachers and staff members of the Aviram. എൻ്റെ കൂടെ എൻ്റെ ജൂനിയേഴ്സ് ഇപ്പം ആക്ച്വലി ആദ്യമായിട്ട് ദയാപുരത്ത് കയറി വന്നപ്പോൾ ഫസ്റ്റ് അസംബ്ലിയിൽ കയറി ന്യൂസ് വായിക്കുന്ന ഒരു അനുഭവം പോലെ ഉണ്ട് ഇപ്പോൾ എല്ലാം കൂടി പറഞ്ഞു വന്നപ്പോൾ. ആക്ച്വലി കോവിഡ് തുടങ്ങിയതിന് ശേഷം കോവിഡ് റിലേറ്റഡ് ആയിട്ടുള്ള ടോക്കുകൾ, ഇങ്ങനത്തെ ക്ലാസ്സുകളും ഇതൊക്കെ നിരവധി ഇപ്പൊ കഴിഞ്ഞു. കാരണം എപ്പോഴും ഈ സീസൺ ആയതിനു ശേഷം സ്ഥിരമായി വിളിക്കും. പിന്നെ സ്കൂളുകളിൽ പോയിട്ടുണ്ട്, റെസിഡൻസ് അസോസിയേഷൻ, അങ്ങനെ പല ഫേസ്ബുക്ക് ലൈവും ഇവിടുത്തെ കുട്ടികളുടെ അങ്ങനെ പല പല ആക്ടിവിറ്റീസിലും നിരവധി തവണ ഇപ്പൊ കോവിഡിന്റെ പബ്ലിക് ഫോറത്തിലുള്ള ടോക്ക് കഴിഞ്ഞതാണെങ്കിലും ഇപ്പോ ഈ ദയാപുരത്തേക്ക് എത്തുമ്പോൾ ഉള്ള ഒരു വികാരം ഭയങ്കര ഡിഫറെന്റ് ആയിട്ടാണ് തോന്നുന്നത്. ഒരു ഭയങ്കര സന്തോഷാണ്. തിരിച്ചിപ്പോ സാറ് പറഞ്ഞ പോലെ ആ കോളേജിലേക്ക് സ്കൂളിലേക്ക് തിരിച്ചു വരിക എന്നുള്ള, പിന്നെ ഫിസിക്കലി അല്ലെങ്കിൽ കൂടി ആ ഒരു ഫീല് ശരിക്കും അറിയാൻ പറ്റുന്നുണ്ട്. അതേപോലെ തന്നെ നല്ല നെഞ്ചിടിപ്പ് കൂടിയിട്ടുണ്ട്. അപ്പൊ എനിക്ക് ശരിക്കും ആക്ച്വലി ഞാൻ ഫസ്റ്റ് ദയാപുരത്ത് 8ാം ക്ലാസ്സിലാണ് ചേരുന്നത്. അപ്പോൾ ആ സമയത്ത് എനിക്ക് ഇംഗ്ലീഷൊക്കെ വളരെ ബുദ്ധിമുട്ടായിരുന്നു. കാരണം ഞാൻ വന്നിരുന്ന സ്കൂളിൽ അത്ര ഇംഗ്ലീഷ് അത്ര സ്ട്രോങ് ആയിരുന്നില്ല, ഇംഗ്ലീഷ് മീഡിയത്തിലൊന്നും ആയിരുന്നില്ല സംസാരിച്ചിരുന്നത്. അപ്പം ഫസ്റ്റ് അസംബ്ലിയിൽ കയറേണ്ട ഒരു സിറ്റുവേഷൻ വന്നപ്പം അന്ന് ഗിരിജ മിസ് ആയിരുന്നു ഞങ്ങളുടെ വൈസ് പ്രിൻസിപ്പളും ഇംഗ്ലീഷിന്റെ മിസ്സും. ഇപ്പം മിസ് അവിടെ ഇല്ല. അപ്പൊ ഗിരിജ മിസ്സാണ് എന്നോട് പറയുന്നത്, പിന്നെ ഉന്തിത്തള്ളി ആദ്യമായിട്ട് ഇങ്ങനെ കയറിയാൽ പഠിക്കാൻ പറ്റുള്ളൂ, ഇങ്ങനെ കയറിയാണ് നമ്മളെല്ലാം ശരി, അല്ലാതെ മാറി നിന്നിട്ട് കാര്യമില്ല എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞിട്ട് റിപ്പീറ്റഡ് ആയിട്ട് പറഞ്ഞാണ് എന്നെ ആദ്യമായിട്ട് കയറ്റുന്നത്. അപ്പൊ അത് കഴിഞ്ഞിട്ട് കയറി പറഞ്ഞതിന് ശേഷം മിസ് ഒരുപാട് പ്രശംസിക്കാനൊന്നും ഉണ്ടായിട്ടില്ല, പക്ഷെ കോൺഫിഡൻസ് കൂട്ടാൻ വേണ്ടി. അത് കഴിഞ്ഞ് ഏതോ ഒരു ഇങ്ങനത്തെ ആനുവൽ പ്രോഗ്രാം വന്നപ്പം അവിടെയും ഞാൻ കയറി പ്രസംഗിച്ചു. അത് പക്ഷെ മലയാളത്തിലായിരുന്നു. അന്ന് CT സാറും പറഞ്ഞു, CT സാറ് സ്റ്റേജിലുണ്ടായിരുന്നു. അപ്പൊ സാറ് പിന്നെ എനിക്ക് തോന്നുന്നു സ്ഥിരമായി എല്ലാ സ്റ്റേജിലും എന്തെങ്കിലുമൊക്കെ റോള് തന്ന് ഇങ്ങനെ കയറ്റുമായിരുന്നു. 10ാം ക്ലാസ്, അന്ന് +2 ഇല്ല, 10ാം ക്ലാസ് വരെ ഉള്ളൂ. അപ്പൊ 10ാം ക്ലാസ് കഴിഞ്ഞ് ഇറങ്ങുന്നവരെ എനിക്ക് തോന്നുന്നു എത്രയോ തവണ ഒന്നും അറിയില്ല, പിന്നെ പ്രത്യേകിച്ച് അങ്ങനെ കഴിവൊന്നുള്ള ആളൊന്നും ആയിരുന്നില്ല, ഇപ്പോഴും ഇല്ല. അപ്പം എന്നാലും സ്ഥിരമായിട്ട് പ്രസംഗിക്കാനും എന്ത് കവിത ചൊല്ലാനൊക്കെ പറഞ്ഞിട്ട് വേറെ ഒരാൾ, എൻ്റെ കൂടെ പഠിച്ച ഒരാൾ ഞാൻ കവിത ചൊല്ലിയെന്നും പറഞ്ഞാൽ എൻ്റെ വീട്ടിലും കുട്ടികളൊന്നും ഒരാളും വിശ്വസിക്കൂല. എന്നിട്ട് പോലും ദയാവൃത്തി ഞാൻ അതൊക്കെ ചെയ്തിട്ടുണ്ട്. അങ്ങനെ പ്രോത്സാഹിപ്പിച്ചിട്ടാണ് ഈ സ്റ്റേജിൽ കയറാവുന്ന ഒരു ധൈര്യം കിട്ടിയത്. അതിപ്പോഴും ഒരു കരുത്തായിട്ട് തന്നെ നിൽക്കുന്നു. അപ്പൊ ദയാവൃത്തെ ഓർമ്മകൾ എപ്പോഴും കൂടെ തന്നെ ഉണ്ട്. അത് നമുക്ക് എന്തോ ഒരു ശക്തി തന്നെയാണ്. ഇപ്പൊ അറിയാം, ഒരു ഡോക്ടറെ ടോക്കിന് വിളിച്ചു കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ നാച്ചുറലി ഇപ്പൊ ടോപ്പിക് കോവിഡ് മാത്രമേ ഉണ്ടാവുള്ളൂ. അപ്പം ഇവിടെയും ടോപ്പിക് അത് തന്നെയാണ്. അപ്പൊ ഞാൻ ഇതൊരു ഇൻട്രൊഡക്ഷൻ പറഞ്ഞുകൊണ്ട് ഞാൻ ഇതിലേക്ക് പോവാം. സ്ലൈഡ് വിസിബിൾ ആണല്ലോ അല്ലെ?
Yes, sir.
മൂവ് ചെയ്യണ്ടോ?
ഇല്ല.
ഒരു സ്ലൈഡിൽ തന്നെ നിൽക്കുകയാണോ?
അതെ സർ.
ഇപ്പം മാറുന്നുണ്ടോ? സ്ലൈഡ് ഷോ ഇല്ല, പക്ഷെ സ്ലൈഡ് മാറുന്നുണ്ട് അല്ലേ? എടോ സ്ലൈഡ് ഷോ ഇല്ലാതെ ഞാൻ ഇങ്ങനെ കാണിച്ചു പോവാം. ഇതൊക്കെ അല്ലേ? വലിയ കുഴപ്പമില്ലല്ലോ അല്ലേ? ഓക്കെ. So the topic for today's discussion is, as always, is positives of COVID-19, something related to COVID-19. Whenever a doctor is invited for a talk from 2019, always the talk is on COVID-19. Till 2019, we were usually asked to talk about diabetes, control of blood sugar, control of hypertension, prevention of heart disease, lifestyle modification. All these were the topics which were usually given for as doctors. Especially I am representing a department of internal medicine. We are dealing with all these lifestyle diseases, infections. But infection was never a topic which was discussed in a public forum. But after 2019, we get something related to COVID. So this time also, when I was, Adil is the person who talked to me. is my junior, and when we were discussing again, he also told the same. So we would select something from COVID-19, which can be useful to the students also. So I took the topic positives of COVID-19. So whenever we talk about positive nowadays, that means it is COVID positive. There is no other positive in our life now. And nowadays, when I get a call from my relatives or friends, they just tell that I am positive. Veronnulla. They don't even talk about COVID or Corona or anything like that. Just the word positive. And I start advising them, you do this, you take this tablet, you take rest, and so and so. So this is a positive for almost everyone now. This is a simple test for COVID-19. It is easily available. You can get a kit like this for 250 rupees from any pharmacy. You can put a drop of your secretions from the nose into this hole and you see the color. So when the color comes as two dark lines, that means this is COVID positive. And you know what is this COVID? It is a virus. Virus means it's a very, very, very minute particle. Even it cannot exist without a support of another cell. It needs an animal or a bird or a human or something. Some cell is required. It doesn't have an independent existence. You can't see with your eyes. You can't see with the usual microscope. You need very big technology to visualize such a living organism. It's just living. That's what we can say. It has a life, but with the support of someone else. So that much minute particle, and you can see as the time goes on, it's just like our Maruti. So Maruti Suzuki is the same, but it releases newer and newer models. Every 1 or 2 years, you can hear about a new model arriving. So just like this coronavirus, that is a family of virus is called. This coronavirus, the latest model was COVID-19, which was released in 2019. And after that, again, some modifications. Maybe the engine is the same, the power and so may be the same, but by appearance, they look different. So we call them as new variant of COVID-19. That means the family is the same, almost the structure similar, but some change in character, some change in appearance. We call it as a mutant or a variant of COVID-19. So you can see how this RNA is made of. I don't know how far you know about RNA and all, 7th standard. This RNA is the basic genetic material of any cell. And from this, the proteins are synthesis later and so. That is not important here. But anyway, you can see one basic structure of an RNA. So this is the similar to a genomic structure of this virus also. So you can see the color codes here. So just imagine like a necklace or a chain made of different pearls of different colors. So you can rearrange these pearls, isn't it? You can make this red one into yellow or yellow to pink. And similarly, you can interchange these pearls. You can change the color of these pearls. So you get new things. But a minor change here will not be evident. When you look at the necklace or the chain, it may not be evident at all. But when there is a gross change, suppose from here to here, the colors are changed to pink. So that may be obvious. So that is called a mutation, or that is called a new variant. So you are getting a RNA with different rearrangement, and that creates a new variant or a mutant. So just like our Maruti releasing new models, this COVID-19 also comes with different models. So it began with something like this. This person was very famous when I was a student. He used to break his own records every year in pole vault. So similarly, this COVID-19, when it came like this. It was the biggest pandemic after 1918 Spanish flu. So we thought it is going to end here. That may be the last, or it may last for 1 year and we will be free of all these infections. But next we understood that it is not the end. Still something bigger was to come. That is called the Delta. That is a new variant that time. So this delta was bigger than alpha in both the number of people affected as well as the severity of the disease. So delta came with more severe disease, more number of people affected. So we called it as the second wave. So India, we faced a big tragedy during this delta wave. And after that, again, we were hoping that this may be the end of our pandemic. But then came the Omicron. So Omicron is the newest variant of COVID-19. So he is the record holder now in terms of number of people infected. But luckily, the severity of the disease is not that high as the previous models. So compared to Delta, the severity of the disease, that means the complications, the number of people getting admitted to the hospital, number of people dying is very, very low compared to the previous models. So Omicron is successful in infecting maximum number of people, but luckily not that dangerous. So that is the wave currently we are witnessing. You may be aware, almost everywhere, everyone is getting infected in our house, neighbors, friends, wherever you talk with people, they start telling you, I was infected last week, or I am infected. So almost 70-80% of the population is already infected. So what is worrying us is we have still so many letters remaining in Greek alphabet. So whether the COVID is going to come in new forms with new letters, we don't know. But we hope that this Omicron is always a hope for us, because it is infecting maximum number of people with a less dangerous form of disease. So that may give us immunity. Immunity means a protection against further infections. So that may be the end of our pandemic. That is our hope now, but we are not yet sure. So we know we have been wearing masks for a long duration, and this is the appearance of the year we expect if we continue wearing, especially people like me working in hospital for hours with a very tight mask. So this is the future appearance we expect, and we undergo these tests. You know how these COVID tests are done. Always a probe is put into the nose, they take a secretion, and this is the appearance we expect if we go on facing these variants again and again. So forgetting all these sufferings and all these negative things and all the sadness and depression, as our ma'am was telling, so many tragedies have happened during the last 2 years. Is there anything positive which we can learn from this COVID-19 pandemic? That is the talk is all about. Next 30 minutes, I would like to bring some of the points which may be useful for our students, my juniors, which we learned, which I learned from from dealing with patients or just observing patients of COVID-19 in the last 2 years time. So I'm not going to talk anything about COVID positivity or a COVID-19 patient, his symptoms, his complications, or treatment part, but just some lessons, some positive lessons which we can keep in our mind. So you know how all this began. It started in around Wuhan, a market, a flea market. So many people started getting symptoms around this market with the symptoms were like they were having fever, they were having difficulty in breathing, they were having cough, and they could not identify what it is, because so many people in the same household or neighborhood having similar symptoms, but it's an unknown disease. So they started investigating, and they could find out very quickly that it's a new type of virus. That's a family of virus is called corona, and the new model of this coronavirus, they named it as SARS coronavirus 2. So it has a similarity to previous models like SARS, MERS, etc. So again, not complicating much, just they witnessed a revolutionary reaction from our scientific world. That is the one point which I have to bring into your mind, because you are all students learning science. you just think about how science dealt with this emergence of virus and how fast the reaction was. Within a few weeks of time, they could identify the virus, and within another few days or weeks time, they could completely identify the sequence, what type of virus it is, what is it made of, how can it be detected, what tests can be used. And you can't imagine within a 6 months of time, just matching with the speed of the virus, the test, the treatment, everything reached even our part of the world. We could get the test kits within a 6 months of time. Even any layman now knows what are the tests used for COVID-19, what is PCR, what is antigen test. So the science showed something unimaginable or some amazing developments after the arrival of this virus. And this is the genomic structure they could identify. Even looking at the picture, we can't comprehend anything. But imagine the human brain with the help of science, within a span of such a short time, they could identify all these things. And they could also identify that the disease, how the mechanism, what is happening to the body, what virus is doing to the body, and what is body doing to the virus, and what is the mechanism behind all these complications, all these symptoms, and why people are dying due to COVID-19. And they could identify that it is not just the virus going and attacking an organ and damaging the cells, but there are more things like a formation of blood clots. You can see the blood vessels inside, and clots are being formed inside the blood vessels, that is blocking blood vessels and causing damage to the organs. So all these were within a very short span of time, and which also revolutionized the treatment modalities for COVID-19. And the most important thing is the discovery of vaccines. So you know that it took only less than 1 year for developing a vaccine for COVID. So till that event, for any disease, it required minimum years, so many years for developing a vaccine, repeated experiments, trial and error, and it took so many pain, and it's a Herculean task to develop a vaccine. But this COVID-19 vaccine came within a time of around 11 months, and it was available in every part of the world within another 6 months time. And you can know, you know how it prevented the death of so many people, very elderly or people with so many diseases, which are our close ones, our grandfathers or our relatives. After getting this vaccine, the number of death was decreased significantly. So they are still with us because of the in discovery of this vaccine. And this a special technology of something called mRNA vaccine. That's again an advance. They were researching around about these things for so many years. That means mRNA means a genetic material is inoculated into the body, into the cell, and that is synthesizing a protein inside the cell. That is an external protein. That is a protein which is similar to that is present in the virus, and the body is made to react against this protein, and body is synthesizing factors which can attack this external agent. So just like teachers are making you capable of facing a public exam, so they are giving you a mock exam repeatedly. They are empowering you so that when the external question paper comes, you are so vigilant, you are so powerful, and you can start firing. So in a similar manner, the body is being made capable of producing the factors which are needed to fight the virus. That is what is being done by these vaccines. So that is one of the biggest advancement in the field of science which we witnessed during the last 2 years time, and that was something a milestone in the history of science. And not only this, you know, these things all are aware, so many other advances came in between. Even our meeting is an example. Otherwise, imagine how difficult it would be to conduct such a meeting. All the people should reach the Aburam from different parts. And to conduct an alumni meeting or now it's so simple. So many things, even the classroom, the work at home, and so many things came, which you are more expert than me. I am not going to. And you can see even the person who is bringing fish to our home on bicycles to our houses is having a Google Pay now. So everything is made online, digital technology. So we witnessed a revolution there. So that is apart from the science. And next, respecting the germs. So this was our culture. When we were students, we always used to see people doing like this from the bus. In the front seat, they will chew tobacco and they will have all this red mouth and they start doing like this, and we can get a splash in the back seats. So that was a very common scene, and we never used to respect germs, especially people in Kerala, India. We didn't have such a thought at all. So we did all these things leisurely, and we were not bothered about all these infections and things to prevent infections. That was not at all a syllabus in our curriculum, or never we used to discuss such things. But you know how we improved after the arrival of COVID-19, how personal hygiene, hand washing, and all these things became very, very important. Now we all are very well aware after leaving your class or when before reaching your house or hostel, everywhere, anywhere, you have to do all these things. You have to wash clothes and you have to take a bath. So these things have become a part of our life now. And you know what is social distancing and what is importance of preventing infections by this. You see a queue. I don't know, even we can call it as a queue, because this was the style we used to stand in queue 2 years back in theaters or in beverages. Everywhere you could see people. And now we learned the real queue, how to stand with discipline. So what is the importance of this is, again, how to prevent infections. I'll come to that in detail later. And any superhero, even a superhero of Kerala origin, is taking precautions. You can see him wearing a mask to prevent getting virus into his body, or from preventing a spreading virus from his body outside. So that is a message given to everyone. Even a superhero needs a mask. Another thing is, this was a very common observation in our households. When one starts sneezing or when one person starts developing fever, what do your parents or your grandparents say? So in my house and all, when I used to get all these things, എപ്പോഴും വീട്ടിൽ പറയാൻ വെച്ച് കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ അന്നലെ മഞ്ഞ കൊണ്ടതിൻ്റെയാണ്, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ നീ ഇന്നലെ ഐസ്ക്രീം കഴിച്ചതിൻ്റെയാണ്, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഇന്നലെ വെയിലത്ത് പോയി കളിച്ചതിൻ്റെയാണ്. There will be some reason for all these things. So leave it. So if more than one person gets the same illness in a house who are not used to, so some people will have allergy to dust, allergy to smoke, such things are there. Some people have asthma. So such people may get these type of symptoms when they are exposed to some cold or some. There are some people, some students may be there who wake up every morning and sneeze for 50 times, then they become okay. That is a type of allergy. I'm not talking about that. The people who are not used to such symptoms suddenly developing a sneezing, coughing, fever, headache, all these symptoms are usually attributed to some events on the day before, like ice cream or like vayarpu thaleyil kudichu. So even when more than one person gets the same symptom, again we say that ഇന്നലെ കാലാവസ്ഥ മാറി, ഇന്നലെ ക്ലൈമറ്റ് മാറി, അല്ലെ ക്ലൈമറ്റ് ചൂട് തണുപ്പായി, തണുപ്പ് ചൂടായി. So we find some reason. അപ്പം these symptoms are not significant. They don't make somebody bedbound or homebound. So they can still walk, they can do their routine activities. So what we used to do, everyone goes. This child, he will go to his school. This lady, she will go to her working place, and he will go and attend a marriage. So what they are doing? So when somebody develops an unexpected fever, running nose, cough, etc., the first thing to think of is an infection. An infection is most common infection is a viral infection. So he may be having a virus. Okay, very simple. So what is the peculiarity of this virus? This virus can be transmitted. When he sneezes, this virus gets entry into the person sitting near to him. So he can infect the whole class when he comes to the classroom with this infection. And this person will infect more people because he is attending the marriage function. Okay. So we had this habit of roaming around with infections, with viruses, carrying viruses and giving this to someone else. So you may think that what is the issue? Because it's a very mild thing, just only a cough, just only a sneeze, and it will be okay within 2 days time. Then why we have to worry this much? So there are some people who are very fragile. You know what is fragile? Well, we use this term, handle with care, on boxes having something like glass, isn't it? So you have to be very careful with these people because they are very fragile. So the virus which doesn't cause much issue in these people, which just cause some running nose or sneeze or cough or something like that, it can be life threatening to this person. Life threatening means it can be the end of his life. So that's a very, very important thing. So we have to be very, very careful while dealing with these people. They are valuable people. We want them for few more years. So how can we do that? So we have to prevent the entry of this virus which we have from getting into his body. So that's a very, very important message which COVID taught us. How to protect elderly. These are the people who suffered maximum. If you look at the statistics world over, the person above 70 years or 75 years, we lost maximum number there. But we did lose much number below 10 years, below 30 years. The number is very, very low. But as the age progresses, the people lost due to coronavirus is very high. And above 70, it was the maximum number. So the message is, when you have such a suspicion, when you have such a suspicion of an infection or a virus, never go near such people. You stay away. You stay away for few days, 2 or 3 days. You stay away till you become asymptomatic, no more symptoms, or you wear a mask properly, wear a mask before going to these people. So separate them from this infection zone so that they don't get such viruses. So that is not a thing which is applicable to COVID alone. Any virus, any bacteria, any infectious organism, any germ getting entry into an elderly will be very, very, very dangerous. It can be extremely dangerous. So, you know, this is a Western culture. The elderly are taken care of in particular centers, care homes, something called similar to old age homes in our place. We don't find so many old age homes in our place, luckily. But in many of the European countries, when the people are very old, so they are being taken care in these type of centers. They stay together. So what happened there? When COVID pandemic came, it had the maximum insult on these areas in Italy, in London, every European countries where they had these type of homes. When virus gets entry into this place, it was a clean wipe out from our earth. So many old people lost their life in these areas because of this virus getting entry into such places. So always remember, family is the best medicine there. So take care of our elderly, keep them with our family, take care of not getting them viruses or infections because of us. Still, they can get diseases. It's not our fault. It's natural. They will have so many diseases. They will be taking multiple medications, but not due to our reason. We should not take a virus or bacteria to an elderly as far as possible. It's not completely preventable. It's not 100%, but just from our carelessness, it should not happen. That's a very important message. Another one, you remember how the countries were competing with each other. They needed all these guns, missiles, bombs, everything. They were making them secure. And the country which had the maximum number of the high-tech missiles and high-tech bombs were the most powerful. And what happened after the COVID-19? So we were all making our borders secure, isn't it? So if our border is secure, we thought that we are safe. We are not allowing our neighbors to come into our country. So we are safe. So is that safety enough? Is that safety a permanent? So does this virus obey any of these borders? No. So you can see that you cannot defeat the virus in a single place alone. The virus gets defeated only if it is defeated everywhere. So every country, every place together, only if try together, then only we can win over the virus. So making our country powerful, making our people strong, making our people vaccinated, it's not enough. If our neighbor country is having plenty of COVID-19 patients or any viral diseases, easily the virus will get entry into our country, and that will be the end of our country also. So it's an international or a global. It's something which is needed everywhere, every person. Then only we will be able to attain a disease-free world. Similarly, these people, have you ever noticed these people? We were going to a hospital, we had 5-star hospital, big setups, but we were never noticing people who are staying on the floor, on the roadside. So these people are also important, because we realized it because when the COVID-19 came, we were running behind these people also. We were giving homes to, till that we were not bothered about people like this, but now we want them also to be healthy, because if they are carrying a virus, it's a threat for us. So there is nothing like poor and rich people here. There is no culture boundaries, there is no religion boundaries, there is no country boundaries for virus. Virus see people as same. Virus can infect people equally. So if we progress similarly, if we have facilities similarly, then only we will be able to attain a healthy world. So this is one of the projects which our district had in these times, for people like who have no houses, who were staying outside, all were rehabilitated using this. So it's a very nice project, which also came almost parallelly to our COVID-19 pandemic. And how did we tackle all these things? Is it just a hospital, doctor, nurse? Can we tackle all these infection and all these disease patients together in a hospital? It's not possible. So it's the community support. It's the help of people. It's the people together. They are fighting. You have witnessed centers, the schools being converted, hostels being converted into hospitals, and people helping them. They are bringing food to the people in isolation, people in quarantine. So it's a community together fighting, not an individual alone, not a hospital or a doctor or a nurse alone. Only if we come together, only if the community stand together, we could defeat this virus. And we have witnessed all these things over the last 2 years' time. So you see how the patient was being taken to hospital, a sick patient in a motorbike by 2 volunteers, and how this vaccination is happening in very difficult terrains, in hilly areas, and all these things are happening only because of mutual cooperation. Because the person staying in the hilly areas, if they are not vaccinated, if they are not taking measures to prevent the virus, it will affect everyone. So it's our responsibility to see that all are getting equal participation, equal share of all these vaccines, medicines, and other care. And the next thing is, what about the lifestyle? We were talking about our lifestyle a lot before the onset of this pandemic. But is it important? So we have seen that when a patient is admitted due to COVID-19, the maximum death or maximum problem is for elderly. I have already told. The second group is the people with overweight, obese. That is what you call obesity or overweight. People with high blood sugars, high blood pressure. So these are the people maximum affected by COVID-19 also. So whenever an infection affects our body, if we are healthy, if we have a strong immunity, so we will be able to fight the virus also. Elderly, what happens as the time goes on, wear and tear happens. So naturally, their immunity comes down, their disease fighting capacity comes down. But young people who has a less disease fighting capacity is these people with overweight. So you can see a person like this. So what you want to do? You want to have a good lifestyle. So this is what you are, what you eat. So you keep on eating all these things, you become something like this. Okay, obese with a big belly. And these are the group of people who are maximum haunted by infections also. So don't think that this lifestyle diseases are only hypertension, diabetes, blood sugar, prameham, pressure, heart disease, etc. Even infections have a preference for such people. People with high BMI. BMI means overweight or obese people. So you have to have a lifestyle, good lifestyle, a healthy diet, and a good exercise. You keep yourself healthy, your immunity is strong, and you have to keep on going like this so that in the future also new and new virus may come. So you have to be healthy to fight the virus. So your diet, your food style, and your exercise present during the present times when you are students, that is important in keeping you healthy in your future life also. And the last part, is it our health alone? Have you thought of these creatures? They are also owners of our world, our nature, but we never take care of them. We destroy all the forest, we cut all the trees and make them homeless. You can see these are the biggest carriers of virus. Do you know that? These creatures, each body has more than 100 viruses. So many of them are dangerous, many of them are not dangerous at all, but they have viruses. And do they disturb us? Usually no. They have their own house. They hang here. They don't come to us. They don't come in search of us, and they never spit out their virus also. But when you destroy their habitat, when you cut these trees, what happened? These come in search of their food, their habitat, and that is how they evade our surroundings, and they bring viruses with them. So many of the new diseases, many of the viruses which you have never heard of in the past are brought to our lives by our own acts like deforestation, contamination, pollution. And what we do again, all these animals you can see market. So disturbing this animal world, disturbing this nature's equilibrium brings out viruses from these living beings, and these viruses many often attack human, and that brings the tragedy. And you can see that many of the new viruses come from animals. It is called zoonotic. So the last few years we have witnessed newer and newer viruses. Almost everyone are of animal origin, and only because of our own act. And this is a story from my own COVID ward. Yesterday only I got this paper from a girl. She is studying in 3rd standard, and she is in COVID ward because of not her illness. Her mother is sick. She lost her father. She doesn't even remember him. She was so young, and now her mother is only 35 years, and she is having cancer in the esophagus, and she cannot swallow anything. Even water she is unable to swallow. If she tries to put something in her mouth, she starts coughing. So she is very sick, and this girl is taking care of her mother. So I was talking to her, and she is happy. And what she is doing is, I asked her to check her mother's saturation. You know what is oxygen saturation? Every COVID patients does with a pulse oximeter. So just ഒരു തമാശയ്ക്ക് വേണ്ടി അവൾക്ക് എന്തെങ്കിലും ചെയ്യണമല്ലോ എന്ന് വിചാരിച്ചിട്ട് ഞാൻ പറഞ്ഞു, നീ ഒരു കാര്യം ചെയ്യുക, എല്ലാ ദിവസവും അമ്മേന്റെ ഓക്സിജന്റെ അളവ് നോക്കിയിട്ട് എനിക്ക് പറഞ്ഞാണ്. സോ നെക്സ്റ്റ് ഡേ വാട്ട് ഷീ ഡിഡ് വാസ്, ഷീ ഡിഡ് ദിസ് ഓക്സിജൻ സാച്ചുറേഷൻ ചെക്ക് ഇൻ ഓൾ ദ നിയർ ബൈ പേഷ്യൻസ്. എല്ലാവരുടെ കയ്യിലും കൊണ്ടുപോയി വെച്ചിട്ട് അവൾ വന്നിട്ട് 93, 94 എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞു തരും. സോ അപ്പൊ ലാസ്റ്റ് ഇന്നലെ ഞാൻ കോവിഡ് ഡ്യൂട്ടി കഴിഞ്ഞ് ഇറങ്ങിയപ്പോൾ അവൾ തന്ന സമ്മാനാണ് ഈ വരച്ചത്. സോ you all belong to 7th standard, and she belongs to 3rd standard. When you are all sitting in your class, she is in ward. She is taking care of her mother. So I was also thinking how privileged we are. So she has no father, and mother is having a very serious illness, and she is spending her life in the COVID ward, taking care of her mother. അത് ഞാനൊരു ഇൻസിഡന്റലി പറഞ്ഞു എന്നേ ഉള്ളൂ, ജസ്റ്റ് ടു ഷോ ഹൗ ലക്കി ആൻഡ് ഹൗ പ്രിവിലേജ്ഡ് വി ആർ. സോ we were all thinking that we were superheroes. We were the owners or the boss of the world. We are the most powerful. And what happened when the virus came? The whole world came into a standstill. Anything, this little creature could stop anything and everything. Our world was, at least for few months, we were just, what to say, ninna nilayilai poi. So that is what our life is. So we are having an uncertainty of existence, and there is always a vulnerability. And how often so many of us believe that we are supreme masters of the world around us. But what is the truth? And we have so many things. The life is a lesson we learn from every day. So it need not be always happy. To enjoy life, you need not get everything perfect always. So there can be unhappy things also. There can be so many tests also. So the best life is lesson during the hard times and from the mistakes we make. So that is the message COVID-19 finally gives us. It's self-care. You have to love yourself. You have to take care of yourself. You have to wash your hands. You have to wear your mask. Family, you take care of the members of the family. Family is very, very important, especially the elderly. Take care of them. The most vulnerable people, the people with multiple diseases, young ones, elderly. You are the caretakers of these people. Without community support, you cannot achieve anything. So remember, when you spend your life in isolation, quarantine, it was your neighbor, it was the people around us who gave us food, who gave us medicine. So without community participation, nothing is possible. And you extend your borders beyond your community, your school, your religion, your class. Extend the community borders beyond your country, the whole world. Everything should be united to fight such a pandemic. And it's not the human being alone. You think of others also. There are a lot of other creatures on the world. So they are also equally, they should also get their equal share. So only protecting them will protect us also. So that is called the concept of One Health. So enjoy your life and appreciate what you have. Just think about the fact that there are people in the world with less. Be happy and positive for everything around you, and you will become a stronger person. That is only for 7th standard. So there is a good in every evil. So understand the goodness, learn from your mistakes, and we'll move forward with all the lessons we learn from such mistakes. And this is my batch, a very simple, very small batch. We had only very few members. And thank you so much for the opportunity once again.
Sir, your address as juniors shows your affection towards your alma mater, Dayapuram. Thanks a lot for sharing your fond memories of Dayapuram. Many thanks to you, sir, for providing us with a detailed explanation and instructions to be carried out during the pandemic in a simple and concise manner. Now, I invite Neha Fatima to propose vote of thanks.
Ma'am, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Respected Principal Jyoti ma'am, Patron CD sir, Chief Guest Dr. Shamiti, teachers and all my dear friends. A warm good afternoon to one and all. We have been attending a wonderful session on timely chosen topic, positives of COVID-19 by Dr. Shimi, which helped us to see positivity in all negative circumstances. We only think about the negative aspect of something, regardless what it is. But today, we got a chance to know more about this crisis and know the positives about COVID-19. The session was highly useful, and I'm sure that each one of us agreed to it. Let me come to my duty. I would like to thank Dr. Shemi, former student of Theaburam, 10th batch of 1993, for the interesting and enriching session of positives of COVID-19 and acknowledging about being fragile, hygienic, acknowledging about being different viruses and family, and much more. Thank you so much, sir. I would also like to thank Patron CD, sir, for sharing us his voice. Thank you, sir. I would like to thank our principal, Jyoti ma'am, teachers and students for joining this and making the program a success. Thank you, everyone, and have an amazing Tuesday. Thank you.
Thank you, Neha.
Thank you.
Hope all are energized by the talk of Dr. Shamir. Keep smiling because life is a beautiful thing and there is so much to smile about. With this positive note, let us wrap the session for the time being as we will have other knowledge sessions by our alumni soon. Once again, thank you all and Dr. Shamir for making us positive by joining the session. Thank you and have a thoughtful Tuesday.
Yeah, Manju ma'am. Good afternoon to everyone. Shamir, this is Adil from Ajman UAE. Before you wind up, a note of thanks from personal thanks from my side to Shamir. Shamir is my senior, and I'm so happy to see you back in the Abram, even though in this online platform. We have started, today was the inaugural session of the first session of the alumni conversations that we have decided to start from today. And many more alumni is going to come and meet you and share their thoughts, experience, industry expertise. So it is going to be a good opportunity for our students too, right? So I know Shamir was having a very busy schedule. He was reading all my messages, and thanks for Shamir for finding time for us and connecting back to our students in Dayaburam. We hope to see you in future alumni conversations too. Thank you so much. And I appreciate all the teachers and students. There is a great participation, and all of them have switched on their camera and was actively listening to him, to our seniors. So, appreciation for the students for that. Okay, and the students who gave the vote of thanks and welcome. It was amazing. These are all opportunities and platforms for you to train and learn from those who have experience. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you all.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
Bye.